Gio,
BT and Sal,
Evan and Tiki.
Keith McPherson, your nighttime host on the Fan.
on the Fan.
On the Fan.
on the Fan.
It's WFAN Daily, hosted by Pete Hoffman.
Welcome to another episode of WFAN Daily with your host, Pete Hoffman. And don't look now, but the New York Yankees have a 3-game winning streak. That's right. They won Sunday versus the Mets and the first 2 games of this Seattle Mariners series. And oh my goodness, everything's right. Everything's well in the world. It's all because they DFA'd DJ LeMahieu. And let me just say something, okay? For everybody that's sitting there happy that DJ LeMahieu is DFA'd, yes, it made sense. It didn't make sense to start him or to play him. Was there room for him on the bench? I think there was a place for him. I mean, I didn't think they had to send him back. I didn't think they needed him gone. But did he need to play regular? No. Did he need to take important at-bats? Not really. He wasn't batting as bad as we make it out to be. I mean, listen, he was hitting little lazy singles here and there. But still, compared to some other terrible pinch hitters, I've seen a lot worse. So that's why I'm a little confused. Did DJ LeMahieu have to be DFA'd? No, but they chose to send a message. It's the first time in a long time that the New York Yankees have sent a message by DFA'ing a player rather than just, hold on to him. He's owed $22 million and see it, DJ. Take your money and run. And I got to be honest with you, I'm not even being a troll here. If I'm the Mets, I'd be interested in seeing if he wants to come play for us, because you could always use a right-handed batter. I understand he is not what he once was. I'm not looking for power, but I'm telling you right now, if you rostered Starling Marte on this team, who's batting, I don't even know what he was batting, but not that much better than DJ LeMahieu, you could put DJ on the team, have him come off the bench, and listen, you're talking about a second base with Jeff McNeil, Ronnie Mauricio, Brett Beatty, maybe Luis Angel Acuna. If you trade somebody for a significant piece, whether it's a starting pitcher or a relief pitcher, you do have a bench spot for DJ LeMahieu. But I digress. That's not even really that big of a thing. That's just more of a thought. I take one step and say, DJ is not officially washed. I would take a flyer on him. And worst comes to worst, if he sits there on the bench and he doesn't do anything for 2 weeks, then you could DFA him too. It's easy. It's fun. You do that with everybody else. Why not bring DJ in the mix? He doesn't probably want to leave town. Okay? He's not going to Colorado. Don't let him go to Boston. Don't let him go to another AL East team. Let him stay in New York. Let him go to the Mets. But that being said, a good victory for the New York Yankees and their new, would you say, stud starting pitcher? He's definitely a new starting pitcher, that's for sure. And yes, Cam Schlitler. That's right. Cam Schlitler goes 5 1/3, 3 runs, 4 hits in 5 1/3, which is pretty nice. Did walk 2, 7 strikeouts, did give up 2 home runs. But overall, solid start for Cam Schlitler in his first major league start for the New York Yankees. Now, started off rough, walk, but settled down, got the next 3 guys out. Same thing in the second inning, walk, settle things down. But I'll tell you this much, it's a little bit easier to be settled down after the first inning. You have Jason Dominguez get on base with a single. You got Aaron Judge walking. Then you get Cody Bellinger, RBI single. Giancarlo Stanton, RBI single. And then Jazz with a ground out, but an RBI on that. So you get 3-0 lead going into the second inning. It's all, like, for Schlitler, it was working out really well. Again, got out of the first inning, not giving up anything too big, just a walk. And then the rest of it's kind of coasting. He did give up a couple solo home runs, but overall really wasn't bad. The third run was basically, when Loaisiga came in, Jonathan Loaisiga basically dumped gasoline on the fire. And he just doesn't Jonathan LeMahieu right now, if you know anything about the Rico Bronya podcast, there's this thing called the Circle of Trust that Evan Roberts has created. Jonathan LeMahieu would not be in the Circle of Trust. He is not there at the moment. He's been really bad for a little bit. And he just doesn't have that same feel to who he was years ago since coming back from this latest injury. And that's going to suck because they need to rely on their bullpen. When you have Cam Schlitler giving you big innings right now in early July, you're going to have to rely on your bullpen. And Jonathan LeMahieu can't go in there day after day and just blow up and implode on the mound. You can't have that. Luke Weaver, though, innings and 2/3. Devin Williams gets out of a clean inning, and the rest is history. And the Yankees win a nice 9-6 game. And it's amazing because the 3 games versus the Mets, it was almost like, how are they not beating up on this crappy pitching? How have the Yankees not found a way to just completely and utterly destroy what was not the pitching in the beginning of the season for the New York Mets? Yes, we knew that they were one of the best starting pitchers in the league for a long time. The overall ERA with the bullpen too even was really low, and they were first place for a while with the ERA total. But the weekend that we saw was not the month or two leading into the Subway Series. It was more of a slapstick, see what we can put together, see what sticks against the wall type of thing. And the Yankees just didn't do enough. They did a little damage. Again, you got Jason Dominguez on the Friday. Aaron Judge, when he sees a pitch, he puts it over the ballpark, puts it over the fence. You had a couple moments, and then you got the win on Sunday, but it just wasn't enough. And then all of a sudden, you have Seattle Mariners that are coming in here, and this team is one of the better starting pitching teams in the league. And in the first 2 games, you've basically taken out both starters, and they both have about if I'm correct, about a 5 spot. Now, listen, Logan Evans, if that's I believe that's his name, Logan Evans, who pitched today, hasn't really started many games. Only I think his like 6th or 7th start of the season. He's a little bit, coming in. His ERA was about a 3, but not as strong as some of their other starter pitchers. Sorry, he had 8 games started coming into today. Today was his 9th. But coming into today, he had 45 innings pitched, 33 strikeouts. So he's not even a strikeout per inning type of pitcher. He doesn't have the best stuff. He strikes out. He's about a 3-to-1 K to walk ratio. His whip's a little bit high, 1.25. His ERA, like I said, was 2.96. But he's not the top-end starter for this team. You got to remember who their starters are, who their top-end starters are. Logan Evans isn't it. Logan Gilbert is one of their brighter, not younger starts. He's 28 now, but he's one of their brighter players, brighter starting pitchers. He's only pitched 11 games or something like 11 games this season. He's had a little bit of slower start. Not the best season for him. He last year was dominant. He still strikes out a ton, but he's only pitched about 50 some odd innings this year going into yesterday's start. And but somehow the Yankees found a way to beat up on a better pitching staff than they're used to, when they're used to beating up on, I guess. And it just, that's how baseball works. Sometimes you sit there and scratch your head and going, how are we getting shut out by a terrible team? And then all of a sudden, or getting, beat down by a terrible team. And then all of a sudden you go up against a better, pitching staff. And yet, you got Jazz Chisholm today hitting 2 home runs. You had Judge yesterday hitting a home run. You had Stanton hitting a home run. There was just, a ton of fireworks in the Bronx, which is really good to see. And you need that bounce back, especially after, when you DFA a guy like DJ LeMahieu, it's not easy because he is a veteran. Though he's 37 years old, he is on his way out, but he's a veteran. I'm sure he had tight ties with a lot of those guys on the team, especially a guy like Judge. I wouldn't be surprised a guy like Stanton, maybe even Paul Goldschmidt had some, tight niche, whether they're boys or not from previous years. I'm sure it wasn't easy just getting rid of DJ LeMahieu and saying, hey, listen, we prefer you. to be anywhere else but on this team right now. That's not easy to do, but they did that. That was a big boy move. And to have the team go out there and respond the way they did, especially in the first inning, especially put up a 3-run spot for Schlitler, which was a big deal because, again, like I said, like, he's a kid. You don't want him imploding in his first game. So it was good to see him have a good game. It was good to see the Yankees bounce back. And let's see what else they do, because now we're hearing, and this is the thing that throws me off a little bit. So just buy into this for 1 second. Jazz Chisholm's going to be the second baseman for the New York Yankees. They DFA'd DJ because he no longer can play third base. Good. It's not working out. You're putting your better second baseman at second base. DJ's not playing third base anymore. He can't do it. DFA him. Totally fine. But the whole reason why you did that was because we're tired, or fans at least are tired, of seeing the Yankees play out of position constantly. And then there's talk of who's going to fill in at third base. There's Vivas, there's Peraza, and then JC Escara. The backup catcher is going to see time at third base. Isn't that what we just tried to avoid? Like, oh, what are we doing? I understand this is not the final result. It sounds like there's going to be a trade that is made. The Yankees are looking at a third baseman. They're looking to find a third baseman to come in. What level of third baseman do they get? It depends on how much they're looking to give up. If you're looking to give up George Lombard Jr., if you're looking to give up Spencer Jones, you should be able to get a high-level third baseman. Which, by the way, if you're going to make a trade and you're going to try to better the team, unless you think you have no chance of winning this year, the move should be for an all-in third baseman that's going to get you to where you want to go the next couple of years. Not just for this year, but for next year and the year after. A guy that can help benefit Aaron Judge. A guy like a Jose Ramirez is that exact player. Now, do I think the Guardians are about to just hand over Jose Ramirez to the Yankees? No, I don't think that's the case. But that is the guy that they have to think about getting and making a splash for. You have to look at all the top-level third basemen in the major leagues and see which one you can steal. And there should be no limit on prospects. If you're going to give up a prospect at any level for anybody, you might as well just go all in. You might as well just bring in a big hitter. And I don't care about, well, there's always next year. Maybe you got a prospect that can come in and fill in the spot, or maybe there's somebody. Listen, am I correct that the New York Yankees were in the World Series last year? I'm pretty sure that was the case. So the next step from getting in the World Series is winning the World Series. And how do you win the World Series if you're just complacent and just try to get by? You can't. So go out and get the best player possible at that position. I'm not telling you to run out and go make a major move for Ryan McMahon. That'd be stupid. I'm not telling you to go out and make a major move for Nolan Arenado. That'd be stupid because, first of all, the Cardinals probably aren't selling just yet, if at all, even though they probably do want to get rid of that Nolan Arenado contract. But on top of that, you don't want to give up your best piece for an old and fading player. You want somebody who could win now. And Jose Ramirez is one of the best third basemen in the league. I mean, if it wasn't Jose Ramirez, I'd say go to San Diego and try to get Manny Machado. I would say go to maybe not the Giants for Matt Chapman, but I would look around the league and say, dude, Eugenio Suarez, Arizona. It's a nice pickup. Now, for Suarez, I understand he's a free agent after this year. But do you want to win? I understand. I've seen the Javi Baez moves. I've seen the Pete Crow Armstrong for Javi Baez. And that was a major mistake. I'm not sitting there and saying that was a perfect move. But on the other hand, too, the Mets were never really that close to making the playoffs. And they missed the playoffs a year. This is simple. The Yankees are going to make the playoffs. How deep are they going to go? That depends on how much they put into this team, how much they invest into this team. You already lost 2 starting pitchers. You lost Cole and Clark Schmidt. When is Luis Gil really going to come back? We know it's sometime in August, but we don't know when, and we don't know how effective he's going to be. Are you going to have to look into another starting pitcher? Regardless, you have to make a serious run to secure this offense come playoff time, because it's year after year after year that we see one guy show up who, by the way, nobody even wants around anymore, even though he's been productive the past couple of days. Nobody wants Giancarlo Stanton around. I'm sure that people can't wait to DFA his ass, but yet he's the only player that steps up in the playoffs. Does anybody realize that? When you have a team that's built to get to the playoffs and you have a guy who actually can perform in playoffs, the last thing you want to do is get rid of that guy. I mean, at least that's my calculations. I mean, we can have the best player in baseball go cold every single playoff year, and that's okay. But the one guy that, maybe during the regular season he's a little lackluster, but come playoffs, he is a monster. He is a beast. Giancarlo Stanton is not a pushover come playoff time. He puts on that extra gear. He talks about how when the playoffs come around, he needs to pump it up a little bit more. I want that guy. And if you don't want that guy, I'll take him on the Mets too. Just saying. Go ahead. Cut him. I'll take him. But the Yankees have to add to this offense, because you can't go into another playoffs with Aaron Judge. You know what his production is like. Jazz Chisholm, by the way, he's been having a really good since his injury. Since he returned from his injury, he has pretty much been on fire. I don't know if he's changed his approach at all. Maybe just feeling healthy, maybe more comfortable. But whatever the case is, he's been playing a lot better. Paul Goldschmidt's had a couple hits. Listen, I think Paul Goldschmidt coming into today had, I want to say he had like 9 hits or 11 hits in like the past 5 games. Something of that ilk. Regardless, he's been doing a lot better in the short recent period. But that's not saying I'm going to rely on him in the playoffs either. You need to go and get someone like a Ramirez or Suarez. And if it takes a Spencer Jones or George Lombard to do it, if you want to win a World Series, which I believe the Yankees want to do, I'd make that move. I'd go all in. I don't know what else especially when you're Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone and everybody wants to run you out of town. Shove it up their butts. Say, you know what? Screw it. We're making that splash. It may even piss people off. How can you dare get rid of Spencer Jones? How can you dare get rid of George Lombard Jr.? Well, you know what? It's for a third baseman who's going to be here for maybe the next 3 years that can help you win a championship now. I can't worry about what's going to happen in the next 3 years, because in the next 3 years, I may not have a job because this team seems stale come playoff time. So DFA'ing of LeMahieu was a good thing, but what's the next step? Because it can't be J.C. Escara, who is the backup catcher playing third base. We've gotten that already. We've seen all those dumb, idiotic moves of experiments. Let's move on to the real thing. Let's move on to the guy that actually knows how to play the position. Let's get him to do that in real life. All right. That's another episode of WFAN Daily. I hope you enjoyed that. We will get a Rico Bronya tomorrow. I'm sorry and apologize to anybody that was waiting up for Rico Bronya yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I wasn't home. I didn't catch the games on time. I just didn't get there. So I couldn't do it. I'm upset at myself because I know how big of a game it was, but I didn't know it was going to be that big of a game at the time. I was watching my kid's game. He wanted to hang out with some friends. We did that. You know what? Sometimes you got to take a break for the kids. I screwed up miserably. I'm not Evan Roberts. I'm not doing posts from Paris. I try my best. I'm only Pete Hoffman. And Pete Hoffman sometimes needs a day off. So I apologize for that. But I'm back today. And if you want to hear Juan Soto comments, and if you want to hear comments about anything else Mets related, I will definitely be talking about it tomorrow with Evan Roberts. That's Thursday after the doubleheader with the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Mets. whenever he's done with his doubleheader. So he's got not just one game to catch up on, he's got 2 games to catch up on. So I don't really know when we're doing a post-game or post-series recap with the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Mets. But that's going to happen at some point in time, I believe Thursday, for the Rico Brogna podcast. Otherwise, if you listen to this on Wednesday night or Thursday morning, whatever it is, tune into WFAN right now, because I'm sure whether it's Keith McPherson, Chris McMonagle, Boomer and Gio, Brandon Tierney, Salicata, Evan, and Tiki, where we're going to be touching on the New York Yankees and their next move after DFA'ing DJ LeMahieu. Again, thank you for listening, liking, subscribing to WFAN Daily. You could get it wherever you get your podcast, but obviously the Odyssey app is the best way to get it. And from there, you could also go and listen live to the station, or just go download your favorite podcast, whether it is the show, whether it is a WFAN Daily, Rico Brogna, Unkillable, you name it, we got it. And as well, you could subscribe to the YouTube page as well. There's plenty of different ways to go and check us out. And please go and follow me at Hoff WFAN. That's at HOFF WFAN on all social media platforms, whether it's X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Put videos up, put content out. Go enjoy that if you can. But thank you again for listening to another episode of WFAN Daily. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.